Hello and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being part of the 5,000 subscribers. It's a really cool milestone for me. I'm a small channel and I didn't know how long it would take to get to 5,000 subscribers. And I don't even know why I think that number somehow would give my channel opportunities that I wouldn't have being under 5,000 subscribers. So anyway, thank you very much. I am very, very appreciative. So this week, I have some not so great health news. But first, let's do something fun and relaxing. How about a waterfall? That always sounds good. When my friend Steph was visiting, we went to Via Tavida Lodge. They have a restaurant there, so if you're not staying at the property, you can just go for lunch, walk down to the waterfall, and they have a nice assortment of plants that you can buy. They sell some medicinal plants. I've gotten a few plants there over the years, and one of my favorites is probably like 8 feet tall now. They called it the Tree of Life when I first bought it, and I've even propagated it to make some babies. They even have a jacuzzi on the property, and it's covered, so if it's raining, you can still enjoy a jacuzzi. It's easy enough to get to from Panama. It's about, I guess, a little over an hour, and also from El Valle. So let's take a look at the waterfall. I love waterfalls. I think they're just so peaceful and mesmerizing. Just the fact that they just continuously flow is pretty amazing. This is the restaurant, just a nice little space to have your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And the food was really good. I had the fish with a garlic sauce. It was delicious. They have 7 rooms. Some of them have the views of the waterfall. Some of them have views of the gardens. So you can look at their website and just see what might appeal to you. But I think this is a perfect spot to go to just disconnect, really. I mean, you're far away from any main roads. The night skies are probably pretty incredible. When I've been up here before, I've noticed that they've offered some different classes and workshops. They're done in Spanish, and unfortunately, my Spanish isn't good enough. Although it might be a nice way to, improve my Spanish because I can understand a lot more than I can verbalize. And that would be a fun environment to actually see if I could pick up information and learn some new words, I'm sure.
Well, that was very pretty. Now let's talk about the health stuff.
First attempt at the clinic in San Fernando is a bust. I showed up to get my blood work, urinalysis, and EKG, and they said I have to be fasting and have to come before 10 a.m. So I will have to come back. Now I'm on my way to Panama to do a couple of errands.
This was the day that I went to pick up the sod for my little garden project at home.
Round 2, heading down to Coronado to see if I can get all the tests done to get the insurance. And I'm sitting here, my car is on, and I'm hearing a weird noise. That's never good.
Malo is a pet store where you can get pet supplies. They do have animals for sale. I would prefer that you check out any number of the rescues that take care of animals and rehabilitate them and foster them and get them veterinary care and find homes for them. I went to the Cafe Panameño when I was in Coronado getting my car washed. I really enjoy this place. I just love that it looks like a speakeasy, and I had a chai tea latte. It was really delicious. This is in the Super 99 Plaza, and Coronado is a great spot to get everything done. Grocery stores, medical places, eyeglasses, pet stores, and this is where I come to get my car washed. There's one guy in particular at this place who I really believe he enjoys doing his work because he does a great job.
So I got the results back from the preliminary tests that I needed to get done in order to get the health insurance. And there are a few things that are kind of concerning that I need to follow up on. One of them is my cholesterol is very high, my triglycerides are very high, and my bad cholesterol, which I think is the HDL, is very high. So I was checking with my cousin who is a doctor, and he sent me back this little chart. And basically, like, my numbers are all in the red, at risk for heart disease issues. And on top of that, the EKG that I got showed like a not a severe block, like not anything that's, like go to the emergency room now, but there's some type of blockage in the left side. And so that necessitates seeing a cardiologist. So I'm in the works getting set up with a cardiologist appointment at the San Fernando clinic. He'll be a doctor from the San Fernando hospital, and my copay for that will only be $15. So I was excluded for care that's related to that EKG coming back. So if it turns out that I do need like some, treatment for a heart condition, that's not covered the full way that it would be if it wasn't excluded. And I'm excluded because of my high cholesterol, triglycerides, and the bad HDL. The good news is that those things can be lowered with diet and exercise. And I have been generally eating a little bit healthier since I had my gallbladder removed. But getting into, a fitness routine, I'll be honest, it's going to be challenging because I'm in like this very productive mode of writing and, video stuff. And it takes a lot of time. And it's funny because even though I wrote a book on how to create habits, micro habits. So even though I wrote a book on mindfulness, micro habits, and that's really actually just more on like changing mental habits. But as a coach, I know about changing physical habits and what's entailed in that. And I have challenges just like anybody else does when creating new habits. So I think it was a week ago, I went for a couple of walks around the neighborhood. I really do enjoy walking, and especially here in El Valle. This fly. I think it's actually one of these black bees, and it might be trying to pollinate me. So that is something that I am going to commit to, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? It doesn't matter how much productivity I want to do with writing or video stuff. If I have a heart condition or if I have a stroke or a heart attack, I'm not going to be able to continue doing these things that I enjoy. So, so that is on my mind and it's on my agenda. And you know what? A new exercise routine, running away from persistent black bees. The other thing that health-wise I need to follow up on, and I know I'm in like some denial about this, is getting a CT on my left lung, because when they did the chest x-ray to screen me for surgery, there was a nodule of some type that, everyone says like, oh, it's probably been there, or it could be a shadow, or, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, which may be true. But I definitely have like a heightened sensitivity when it comes to cancer, and especially lung cancer, and on the left side. My biological mom died of lung cancer. My mom, who raised me, died of lung cancer. I had a cat die of lung cancer. My cousin died of lung cancer. So I definitely have some fear around, getting it looked at. And I also realized that in the past 6 years that I've lived here in Panama, I've definitely been not proactive about my health. One, because I didn't have health insurance, and I just figured, I'm healthy. So if anything comes up, I'll just, handle it and pay out of pocket. And at 61, I mean, that's a little bit naive. It's a little naive to kind of continue that way. These next 5 years really are big indicators of whether I will have the longevity into my 80s, maybe. So I'm having some, really deep realizations, and having to look at things and behaviors that I've had, and, mental thought patterns, and also, just physical behaviors. And it's challenging, obviously. I mean, we're human beings that don't necessarily like change. And I'm, working through things, but I feel really positive about having a proactive approach now. I will probably go on statins. Years ago, a doctor suggested that I start taking them, and I just didn't like the idea, of having to be on a medication. But I talked to my cousin, and he's like, take them. They're great. They work for him and both of his brothers, actually, because that's like a genetic thing that they have high cholesterol. They're all in very good shape, but they still had high cholesterol, and so they took the statins. So those are my updates. And one thing that I've been eating that's delicious, and I'm pretty sure it's healthy for you, is a beet, apple, and carrot salad. And I found some balsamic glaze, and I just put that over it, and I chopped up some rosemary and tossed that together. That is delicious. If you have any like high fiber and bean easy recipes, put a link in the comments, because I really don't like to spend a lot of time cooking. I like simple but flavorful things, and I'm a big fan of using the Instapot. So if you have any healthy, high fiber, heart-friendly recipes, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in, getting me to 5,000. Let's get to 10,000. I'll see you next week.